Tulsi curses Lord Vishnu after being instructed by goddess Parvati. Lord Vishnu had gone to Tulsi in the guise of her husband Shankachuda, so that the breach of Tulsi chastity could help Lord Shiva to kill Shankachuda, who derived his power from Tulsi's chastity and virtuosity. Initially Tulsi could not recognize Lord Vishnu. She was extremely joyous at his arrival. But very soon she was able to realize the real identity of Lord Vishnu, who had disguised himself as her husband. She became very angry and cursed Lord Vishnu to become a stone. She was crying inconsolably. Lord Vishnu contemplated on Shiva, as a result of which he appeared. Lord Shiva blessed Tulsi that she would become the beloved of Lord Vishnu. Due to Tulsi's curse, Lord Vishnu attained the form of Shaligram, which is a stone, and because of Lord Shiva's blessings, Tulsi leaves started being offered to the Shaligram, in the process of its worship. Killing of Hiranyaksha. While narrating the tale of Hiranyaksha's killing, Satli said, "Once, Shiva and Parvati were living at the Mandarachal mountain. Parvati playfully covered both the eyes of Shiva with her palms. This made Lord Shiva to perspire from his forehead. From this perspiration manifested a ferocious creature. Parvati asked Lord Shiva as to who this creature was. Lord Shiva told her that he was his son Andak. Parvati brought up Andak with great love and care. Hiranyaksha the demon did a tremendous penance to please Lord Shiva, with a desire to acquire a son. Lord Shiva became pleased with his penance and appeared before him. He asked Hiranyaksha to demand any boon, which he promised to fulfill. Hiranyaksha expressed his desire to have a very powerful and mighty son. Shiva decided to give Andak to him, who at that time was being brought up by Parvati. Hiranyaksha brought young Andak along with him. With the help of Andak, he conquered all the three worlds. He lifted up the earth and proceeded towards the netherworld. The deities became very terrified. They prayed to Lord Vishnu, and when he appeared they requested him to kill Hiranyaksha. Lord Vishnu killed Hiranyaksha in his incarnation of boar. After killing Hiranyaksha, Lord Vishnu made Andak the king of netherworld and placed the earth at its original place. Killing of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was filled with grief when he heard the news of his brother's death. To avenge Hiranyaksha's death, he started to torment the deities. Becoming homeless, the deities started wandering here and there. Hiranyakashipu was still unsatisfied. He wanted to acquire more power and authority. He went to the Mandarachal mountain and started doing a tremendous penance to please Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma appeared before him and asked him demand anything he wished to be fulfilled. Hiranyakashipu said, "O Lord, bless me so that I do neither die during the day nor during the night, neither on the earth nor in the sky, neither by the deities nor by the demons, neither by a human being nor by an animal. Bless me, O Lord. Oh, that I do not get killed by any type of weapon." Lord Brahma blessed Hiranyakashipu and said, "So be it." Now, Hiranyakashipu became more ruthless and arrogant. He declared himself the Almighty God and ordered his subjects to worship him and his idol. His son Prahlad was a very great devotee of Lord Vishnu. He did not pay heed to his father's command and continued to worship Lord Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad many times, but each time he survived by the blessings of Lord Vishnu. When Hiranyakashipu's atrocities crossed all its limits, the deities went to Lord Vishnu and requested him to kill Hiranyakashipu. Lord Vishnu appeared in his incarnation of Narasimha, half lion and half man, and killed Hiranyakashipu with his sharp nails. During the dusk, after giving his kingdom to his son Prahlad, Lord Vishnu went back to his abode. Shiva teaches Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya to Shukracharya. Shukracharya did a severe penance for 5,000 years to please Shiva and acquire the secrets of Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya, bringing back dead person alive, from him. When Lord Shiva did not appear even after such a tremendous penance, then he indulges himself in severest form of penance, by quitting having food and water. He now started living only on air. This continued for thousands of years. Lord Shiva became very pleased with his penance. He manifested from the very Shiva Linga Shukracharya had been worshipping till now. He taught the secrets of Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya to him and told him that by the help of this Vidya he would become capable of making alive the dead persons. Lord Shiva also blessed Shukracharya to become a star and attain respectability among all the planets. After blessing Shukracharya like this, Lord Shiva disappeared into the same Shiva Linga from which he had appeared. Battle between Lord Shiva and Andak. Once, Andak brothers jokingly told him that, since his real parents were somebody else, Shiva and Parvati, therefore he was not fit to rule them. Though they had told this in good humor, yet Andak was very much saddened by their remark. He relinquished his throne and went to a deserted place in the forest and started to do a severe penance. Lord Brahma became very pleased by his penance and appeared before him. He asked him to demand anything he wished to be fulfilled. Andak said, I only long for the love and affection of my brothers. O Lord, bless me so that nobody should be able to kill one except Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma blessed him and said, so be it. Andak returned to his kingdom and with the cooperation of his brothers like Prahlad etc. he brought even the deities under his control. But drunk with power he became very arrogant and started tormenting all the creatures. He did not show any respect to the Vedas, Brahman and the deities. Andak had become so arrogant that once he even dared to dishonor his own mother Parvati, who at that time was living at the Mandarachal mountain. Shiva became very furious with him. Andak attacked Shiva with his huge army. Lord Shiva sent his numerous ganas to fight him, but all of them were killed by Andak. When Lord Shiva got the news of the arrival of Andak with his army, he sent Lord Vishnu and his remaining ganas to fight him. He himself went to perform his austerity named Pashupat. The deities fought with Andak for 1,000 years. Meanwhile Lord Shiva returned after completing his Pashupat Vrata and joined them. Seeing Lord Shiva in front of him, Andak became furious and attacked him ferociously. His companion, whose name was Vyasa, devoured all the deities. The demons who had been killed in the battle were brought back to life by Shukracharya. Lord Shiva became very angry and swallowed Shukracharya. He also extracted the deities from the stomach of Vyasa who had been swallowed by him earlier. After that, Lord Shiva attacked Andak with his trident, which injured him. But from each drop of his blood which fell on the ground, manifested thousands of demons who resembled Andak. Lord Shiva then instructed Goddess Chandika to drink the blood, while he killed all the demons. Goddess Chandika followed the instructions of Shiva and drank each drop of blood, which oozed out from the wounds of the demons and did not let single drop of blood to fall on the ground. After killing all the demons, Lord Shiva lifted Andak with his trident and hanged him between the earth and sky. Andak remained there for a very long period of time, bearing the heat of the sun and the showers of rain. But he remained alive. Ultimately he had to take the refuge of Lord Shiva, to save his life. Lord Shiva became pleased by his eulogy and made him his Ganadhis, leader of all the Ganas. When Lord Shiva swallowed up Shukracharya, he became very restless and started to find out a way through which he could come out from Shiva's stomach. But all of his efforts went in vain. Finding no other option, he started to chant the name of Lord Shiva. His chantings continued for 100 years. By the blessings of Shiva, he came out from Shiva's stomach through the ejaculated semen. After coming out, Shukracharya eulogized Lord Shiva. Shiva became pleased with him and showered him with affection just like his own son. After being blessed, Shukracharya went and rejoined the army of the demons. Killing of Gajasur. Goddess Durga had killed the demon Mahishasur, who used to torment the deities. Gajasur was the son of Mahishasur. To avenge his father's death, Gajasur did a tremendous penance to please Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma appeared before him and asked him to demand any boon. Gajasur said, "O Lord, even a Jitendriya, one who has full control over his senses, should not be able to kill me." Lord Brahma blessed him by saying, "So be it." Gradually, Gajasur's atrocities crossed all limits. He became the lord of all the three worlds. He forced even the deities to worship him. He used to torment the Brahmins and the other religious people. One day Gajasur arrived at Kashi and started tormenting the people living over there. The deities came to Lord Shiva and requested him to rescue Kashi by killing Gajasur. Lord Shiva came to Kashi and fought a battle with Gajasur. He killed Gajasur with this trident. At the time of his death, Gajasur eulogized Lord Shiva and requested him to put his, Gajasur's, skin on his, Shiva's, body. Lord Shiva agreed to fulfill his wish. At the spot where Gajasur was killed, a famous Shiva linga by the name of Kritivzeshwar was constructed as per the own wish of Lord Shiva. Killing of Nirhaditya was filled with grief when she came to know about her son's, Hiranyaksha, death, who was killed by Lord Vishnu. Nirhaditya, who was the maternal uncle of Prahlad, consoled her and promised to avenge the death of Hiranyaksha. He thought to destroy the Vedic religion. According to him, the deities derived their strength and power from this very Vedic religion. He planned to eliminate the priestly class Brahmins, so that the chances of yajnas being performed becomes extinct, and the deities were starved to such an extent that they became weak and powerless. Thinking that then it would not be very difficult to kill the weak deities, Nirhaditya arrived at Kashi to execute his plan, which during those times was the chief center of the Brahmins. He attained the form of a tiger and stationed himself in a nearby forest. He used to kill any Brahmin who used to come over there to collect kush, grass and fuel. With the help of his illusionary powers, he used to attain the form of a hermit during the daytime and lived among them. But during the night, he used to enter into the houses of the Brahmins in the form of a tiger and used to devour them. On one night of Shivratri, when a Brahmin was busy worshipping Lord Shiva, Nirhaditya, who was in the form of a tiger, entered the temple. But, since the Brahmin was engaged in the worship of Lord Shiva, he could not harm the Brahmin. Lord Shiva emerged from the very Shiva linga, which the Brahmin was worshipping, and punched the demon with his clenched fist, so hard that he died. Killing of Vidal and Utpal. Long ago there used to live two demons by the names of Vidal and Utpal. Both of them did a tremendous penance to please Lord Brahma. After being blessed by Lord Brahma, they became very arrogant and started tormenting the deities and the Brahmins. The deities went to Lord Brahma and sought his help. Lord Brahma told them that both the demons would be killed by goddess Parvati very soon. He also instructed the deities to eulogize Shiva and Parvati to seek their blessings. The deities went back and started eulogizing Shiva and Parvati. One fateful day, Vidal and Utpal arrived at the place where goddess Parvati was having amusements with her companions. Vidal and Utpal had disguised themselves as the Ganas of Shiva. Lord Shiva recognized the real identity of the demons. He signaled towards Parvati, pointing towards the demons. Parvati, who was playing with a ball with her companions, understood what Lord Shiva meant to say. She hit both of them with the ball, with such force that both the demons died on the spot. The ball then fell down on the ground and transformed into a Shiva linga, which became as Kandukeshwar. The deities became very pleased at the death of Vidal and Utpal. Part 3 Chaturvedi Sanhita. The sages requested Sutha to describe about the different incarnations of Lord Shiva. Sutha told them that, although Lord Shiva took many incarnations, but 5 of his incarnations were very important: Sadhojat, Namadeva, Tat Purusha, Agoresh and Ishan. 5 Shiva incarnations. 1. Sadhojat. Lord Shiva took his first incarnation from the physique of Lord Brahma, who was engrossed in his deep state of meditation, during the 19th Kalpa, named Shweta Lohit. Lord Brahma gave him the name Sadhojat and eulogized him. Later on, from the physique of Sadhojat 4 of his disciples manifested, whose names were Sunan, Nandan, Vishwanandan and Upanandan. All the 4 disciples were of fair complexion. Lord Shiva blessed Brahma and empowered him to do creation. 2. Namdeva. During the 20th Kalpa, named Rakta, the complexion of Lord Brahma turned red, while he was engrossed in his meditative state. From his body manifested an entity who also was of red complexion. Lord Brahma named him Namadeva, considering him to be the incarnation of Lord Shiva, and eulogized him. Later on 4 sons were born to Namadeva, whose names were Viraj, Vivah, Vishok and Vishwabhavan. All of them were of red complexion, just like their father Namadeva. Namdeva Shiva, along with his virtuous progenies, blessed Lord Brahma with the power of creation. 3. Tat Purusha. The 21st Kalpa on the earth was known as Pitvasa. It was named so because of the apparel of Lord Brahma, which were of yellow colors. Lord Brahma's prayer resulted into the manifestation of an effulgent entity. Considering this entity as Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma started chanting the mantras of Shiva Gayatri. After the chantings of the mantras, numerous entities manifested who had put on apparels of yellow color on their body. This way the 3rd incarnation of Shiva, popularly known as Tat Purusha, manifested. 4. Goresh. After the Pitvasa Kalpa came the Shiva Kalpa. A black complexioned manifested while Lord Brahma was engrossed in his deep meditative state. Lord Brahma, considering this entity as Agor Shiva, started eulogizing him. Lord Brahma's eulogization resulted into the manifestation of 4 more entities who had the same black complexion as that of Agor Shiva. Their names were Krishna, Krishna Shikha, Krishna Mukha and Krishna Kantdhari. Gaur Shiva, along with those 4 entities, blessed Lord Brahma with the power of creation. 5. Ishan. During the Kalpa named Vishwarup, manifestations of Saraswati and Ishan Shiva took place. Lord Brahma eulogized Ishan Shiva, after which 4 divine entities named Jati, Mundi, Shikhandi and Ardhamundi manifested from Ishan Shiva. All of them blessed Lord Brahma with the power of creation. 8 Idols of Shiva. After describing about the 5 chief incarnations of Lord Shiva, Sutha explained about the 8 famous idols of Lord Shiva: Shiva, Bhav, Rudra, Ugra, Bhima, Pashupti, Ishan and Mahadev. These 8 idols of Shiva symbolize the 8 natural elements which help in the process of creation, nurturement and annihilation. These 8 natural elements are land, water, fire, air, sky, supreme soul, Kshetragya, sun and the moon. Being established in these 8 idols, Shiva controls the whole world. Shiva as Ardhanarishwar. Once upon a time Lord Brahma, not seeing an expansion in his creation, became very worried. A heavenly voice instructed him to commence creation with the help of copulative activities. But since all the incarnation of Shiva had been males till then, therefore Lord Brahma was finding it impossible. Lord Brahma contemplated on the form of Shiva and Shakti. Lord Shiva became very pleased with him and appeared in his form of Ardhanarishwar, half male half female. Left side of his body resembled like a woman while the right side appeared like a man. Lord Brahma worshipped this form of Shiva. Lord Shiva then separated the feminine part of his body and thus manifested Mother Shakti. Lord Brahma worshipped her and requested to bestow such power by which he could create a woman. Goddess Shakti blessed him by saying, "So be it," and vanished. This way Lord Brahma became capable of commencing copulative creation. Various incarnations of Vyasa and Lord Shiva during the Varaha Kalpa of the 7th Manvanta, Lord Vishnu illuminated all the 3 worlds by his divine presence. This 7th Manvantara consisted of 4 yugas which repeated themselves in a cyclic way for 12 times. The first Dwapar of this 7th Manvantara saw the manifestation of Lord Shiva for the welfare of the Brahmins. When Kali Yuga arrived, Lord Shiva again manifested himself along with Goddess Shakti and was known as Mahmunishweta. Lord Brahma had the privilege of becoming his disciple. During the second Dwapar, sage Vyasa existed as Satya, Prajapati and Lord Shiva became famous as Sutar. Lord Shiva in his incarnation of Sukra had many disciples, among whom Dandubhi was very famous. During the third Dwapar, sage Vyasa took his incarnation as Bhargava and Lord Shiva became famous as Daman. Lord Shiva in his incarnation as Daman had 4 disciples, among whom Vishoka was very famous. When Kali Yuga arrived after this third Dwapar, Lord Shiva along with his disciples helped sage Vyasa. During the 4th Dwapar, sage Vyasa took his incarnation as Angira and Lord Shiva as Suhotra. Even in this incarnation Lord Shiva had 4 disciples, among whom Sumukh was very famous. Lord Shiva along with his disciples helped Angira. During the 5th Dwapar, sage Vyasa took incarnation as Savita and Lord Shiva as Kanka, who was very famous for his tremendous austerities. Kanka had 4 disciples, among whom Sanak was very famous. During the 6th Dwapar, sage Vyasa took incarnation as Mrityu and Lord Shiva as Lokakshi. Lokakshi had 4 disciples, among whom Sudma was very prominent. During the 7th Dwapar, sage Vyasa manifested himself as Indra and Lord Shiva as Jalgaizatya. Jalgaizatya had 4 disciples, among whom Saraswat was very prominent. During the 8th Dwapar, sage Vyasa took incarnation as Vasishtha and Lord Shiva as Dadhivahan. Dadhivahan had 4 disciples, among whom Kapila was very famous. During the 9th Dwapar, sage Vyasa took incarnation as Saraswat and Lord Shiva as Rishabh. Lord Shiva in his incarnation as Rishabdeva had 4 disciples, among whom Parashar was very famous. Nandikshvar, while describing about the incarnation of Nandikshvar, Sutha says sage Shila did a tremendous penance to please Lord Shiva with an aspiration to have a son. Lord Shiva appeared before him and asked him to demand any boon he wished. Sage Shiller expressed his desire of having a son who is not born from a physical body and who is proficient in all the scriptural knowledges. Lord Shiva blessed him by saying, "So be it." Sage Shiller then returned to his hermitage and performed a yagya. From the Yagakunda appeared a child who possessed 4 arms and 3 eyes. Sage Shiller was very pleased to see that child. The birth of the child was celebrated with great fanfare. Lord Shiva and Parvati arrived to bless the child. The child was named Nandi as his birth had given immense joy, Ananda, to Sage Shiller. Later on, Nandi lived with his father like any other normal child and was brought up with great love and care. He became proficient in all the scriptures within 7 years. Being inspired by Lord Shiva, 2 Brahmins came to Sage Shiller and informed him that after 1 year Nandi would be no more. Sage Shiller became extremely sad. Seeing his father in his sorrowful mood, Nandi consoled him and later on went to do penance. His tremendous penance pleased Lord Shiva and Parvati, and both of them appeared before him. Lord Shiva blessed him and said, "You are just like me, so you will never die." Lord Shiva also gave one of his garlands to him. As soon as Nandi wore that garland, he imbibed all the qualities of Lord Shiva. After that, Lord Shiva took out some water from his locks of hair and sprinkled on him, as a result of which 5 rivers came into existence. These 5 rivers were later on came to be known as Panchanad. Lord Shiva then made him the leader of all his ganas. Later on, goddess Parvati took Nandi under her guidance and considered him just like her own son. Nandi was married to Suyasha, the daughter of Marut. Ultimately, all of them accompanied Lord Shiva to his abode. Bhairav gets liberated from his sin. Bhairav, who was created by Lord Shiva from his 3rd eye, had severed one of the 5 heads of Lord Brahma on the instruction of Lord Shiva. Now Brahma was left with only 4 heads. Carrying the skull of Brahma in his hand, Bhairav started wandering in all the 3 worlds. To atone his sin of severing the head of Lord Brahma, he was begging alms. Bhairav reached Vishnuluka, where he was welcomed warm-heartedly by Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi. Goddess Lakshmi dropped the learning, Vidya, named Manorath, by which all the wishes could be fulfilled, in the begging bowl, skull, of Bhairav. Bhairav became extremely happy by this gift. Lord Shiva had created a Agras named Brahmahatya, and had instructed Bhairav to reach Kashi before her. According to Lord Shiva, this way the sin committed by Bhairav could successfully atoned. After being blessed by goddess Lakshmi, Bhairav took the permission of Lord Vishnu and proceeded towards Kashi. After his departure, asked Brahmahatya to stop chasing Bhairav. But she refused, saying that she was just following the instruction of Lord Shiva. When Bhairav reached Kashi, Brahmahatya too came near the outskirts of the city, but could not enter it because of Lord Shiva's power. Instead, she entered into the netherworld, Patal Loka. As soon as Bhairav had entered Kashi, the begging bowl, skull, fell on the ground, and thus Bhairav got liberated from his sins. Bhairav was extremely relieved. The place where the skull of Brahma had fallen, later on became as Kapilmochan, the most sacred place of pilgrimage. Shiva takes incarnation as Shairab. While describing about the incarnation of Shairab, Sutha told sages, when Vishnu took his incarnation of Narai Simha to kill the demon king Hiranyakashipu, his anger could not be subdued even after the killing of Hiranyakashipu. His anger had frightened all the 3 worlds. Lord Brahma sent Prahlad to Narai Simha so that his anger gets cooled down. Prahlad prayed to Narai Simha. Narai Simha took him in his embrace, but still his anger was not subdued. All the deities went to Lord Shiva and requested to him to cool down Vishnu's anger. Lord Shiva then sent Bhairav and Vibhadra to Narasimha Simha. When Vibhadra politely requested Narasimha Simha to cool down, he, Narasimha Simha, tried to pounce on him, Vibhadra. Right then Lord Shiva appeared in his most devastating form. He was looking frightening in his giant form and with thousands of hands. His appearance was resembling a huge cannibal bird. Lord Shiva injured Narasimha Simha with his giant wings, and after carrying Lord Vishnu in his giant wings and after carrying Lord Vishnu in his arms, he flew in the sky. Lord Vishnu was so frightened that he became unconscious. After regarding his consciousness, Lord Narasimha Simha appeared in his form of Lord Vishnu and eulogized Shiva, which made Lord Shiva very pleased. Lord Shiva wore the head of Narasimha Simha with the garland of skull in his neck. The remaining body was carried by Vibhadra and abandoned at a mountain. Vishwana receives boon from Shiva. Once upon a time, there used to live a Brahman named Vishwana who was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Shuchismati was his wife, who was a devout wife. Being pleased by her sense of dutifulness, Vishwana tried to reward his wife. Shuchismati expressed her desire of having a son just like Lord Shiva. Vishwana went to Kashi to please Lord Shiva by his penance. He worshipped Vishweshwar Ling with supreme devotion. Lord Shiva became very pleased by his devotion and he appeared before Vishwana from the Shiva Linga. When Vishwana expressed his desire, Lord Shiva agreed to take birth as his son. Vishwana came back to his house happily. Shiva's incarnation as Grihapti. In due course of time, Shuchismati became pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful child. The whole family celebrated the birth of the child. The whole family celebrated the birth of the child. The name-giving ceremony of that child was attended by all the deities and sages, including Lord Shiva and Parvati. Lord Brahma named the child as Grihapti. When Grihapti attained the age of 5, his sacred thread ceremony was performed. Within a year he became proficient in all the Vedas and other sacred texts. When Grihapti attained the age of 9, Narada came and informed Vishwana that death of Grihapti was imminent because of the evil effects of the planetary combinations. Vishwana and Shuchismati were saddened and started crying. Grihapti then consoled his parents and proceeded towards Kashi to do penance so that the death could be conquered. Grihapti commenced his penance at Kashi. The deity Indra arrived there and requested him to demand anything he wished, but Grihapti refused. Indra became furious and tried to attack him with his weapon Vajra. Grihapti was very terrified. Right then Lord Shiva appeared and Indra had to retreat from the scene. Lord Shiva blessed Grihapti by saying, "What to say about this lightning, Vajra? Even Kalvajra would not be able to kill you." Grihapti became very pleased. The Shiva Linga which he worshipped, later on became famous as Agnishwar Ling. Lord Shiva made Grihapti the lord of all the directions. Lord Shiva's incarnation as Yaksheshwar during the time when ocean was being churned, first of all poison appeared from it. The deities were very terrified to see the tremendous heat it generated. They went to Lord Shiva and requested to protect them from the heat of that poison. Lord Shiva drank all the poison but did not let it pass down his throat. After the poison, nectar appeared from the ocean, which was drunk by the deities. The demons too wanted to drink the nectar, so a tremendous battle ensued between them and the deities. The deities became victorious in this battle because they had become immortal due to the effect of the nectar. This victory made the deities very arrogant. Lord Shiva was very concerned about their arrogant nature. He went to them in the guise of a yaksh. He asked as to what was it that had made them so arrogant. The deities replied that their arrogance stemmed from victory over the demons. Lord Shiva, who was disguised as Yaksh, replied, "Your pride is based on false notion, because you did not achieve victory due to somebody's grace and blessing." The deities disagreed with him. Lord Shiva then asked them to cut the grass if they considered themselves so mighty. He then kept a grass leaf in front of them. Each of the deities tried to cut that grass with their respective weapons but remained unsuccessful in their attempts. They were all amazed. Suddenly a heavenly voice was heard which said that the Yaksh was none other than Lord Shiva himself. The deities realized their mistakes. They apologized to Lord Shiva. After vanquishing the false pride of the deities, Lord Shiva disappeared. 10 incarnations of Shiva and Shakti. Describing about the 10 incarnations and their corresponding power, Shakti, Sutha said the first incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Mahakal and his Shakti was called Mahakali. Lord Shiva took his second incarnation as Tar and his Shakti was called Tara. The third incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Bhuvneshwar and his Shakti was called Bhuvneshwari. Lord Shiva took his fourth incarnation as Shorash, who was also known as Shrividaish, and his Shakti was called Shorashi or Shri. Lord Shiva took his fifth incarnation as Bhairav and his Shakti was called Bhairavi. The sixth incarnation of Lord Shiva is famous as Chinmastak, and his Shakti by the name of Chinmasta. Lord Shiva took his seventh incarnation as Dhumvan, and his Shakti was known as Dhumvati. The eighth incarnation was as Baglamukh and his Shakti as Baglamukhi. The ninth incarnation of Lord Shiva became famous as Matang and his Shakti as Matangi. Lord Shiva took his 10th incarnation as Kamal and his Shakti as Kamla. If these 10 incarnations of Shiva are worshipped along with his 10 Mahavidyas, then a man attains salvation. The origin of 11 Rudras. Once, the deities went to sage Kashyapa after being tormented by the demons. They complained to him about the misdeeds of the demons, who also happened to be their step-brothers. Sage Kashyapa became extremely furious when he heard about the misdeeds of his sons, the demons. To protect the deities from his sons, he commenced a penance to please Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva became very pleased by his penance and appeared before him. He asked Kashyapa to demand anything he wished. Kashyapa then requested Lord Shiva to take birth as his son and destroy the demons. Lord Shiva blessed him and said, "So be it." Lord Shiva later on took birth as 11 Rudras from the womb of his wife Surgi. The name of these 11 Rudras were as follows: 1. Kapali, 2. Pingal, 3. Bhim, 4. Virupaksh, 5. Vilohit, 6. Shastra, 7. Ajapa, 8. Ahibudnya, 9. Shambhu, 10. Chand and 11. Bhav. These 11 Rudras fought battles with the demons and killed them. The deities were relieved after the death of the demons. They worshipped these 11 Rudras to express their gratitude and indebtedness. Shiva's incarnation as Durvasa. Describing about the Lord Shiva's incarnation as Durvasa, Sutha told the deities, "Once a tree, the Manasputra of Lord Brahma, went to do penance at the bank of the river Nivingya, which flew by the foothills of Trayakshakul mountain as per the instructions of Lord Brahma himself. He commenced doing a tremendous penance. The effects of his penance was such that devastating flames of fire manifested from his head. The fire spread in all the three worlds in no time. The deities were terrified by the death and destruction caused by the fire in all the three worlds. They went to Lord Brahma to seek his help. Lord Brahma took them to Lord Vishnu and revealed to him about the destruction caused by the fire. All of them went to Lord Shiva and told him everything. Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva went to a tree and blessed him. A tree recognized them. He eulogized them. Later on, a tree's wife Anusuya gave birth to three sons, who in fact were the incarnations of Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma incarnation as the moon, Lord Vishnu as Dut and Shiva took incarnation as Durvasa. Durvasa had tested the religiousness and virtuosity of numerous people. He had also tested the religiousness of King Ambrish, who ruled over Saptadvipa. Once King Ambrish had observed a fast on Ekdashi. Next day, when he was about to break his fast, sage Durvasa arrived accompanied by his large number of disciples. Durvasa was very furious with King Ambrish. He said, "You had invited me for this particular, but you have also insulted me by breaking the fast by drinking water in my absence." Sage Durvasa would have burned King Ambrish to ashes by his curse, had not Sudarshan, the weapon of Vishnu, came to his rescue. Sudarshan then tried to burn Sage Durvasa when suddenly a heavenly voice was heard from the sky which said, "Durvasa is no one but the incarnation of Lord Shiva himself." Hearing this, Sudarshan's anger was pacified. King Ambrish then begged his forgiveness from Sage Durvasa. Incarnation of Hanuman. Lord Shiva was so infatuated by the appearance of Lord Vishnu in his form of Mohini Rupa that his semen was released on the ground. This semen was established by the Saptarishis in the womb of Anjani, with the permission of Lord Shiva himself. In this way was born the mighty Hanuman. Once, during his childhood, Hanuman had swallowed the sun, which he released only after the deities prayed to him. The sun accepted him as his disciple and made him proficient in all the learnings. He started living with Sugriva as per the instructions of his teacher, the sun. During the time of Sri Rama's exile, Sugriva developed friendship with him with the help of Hanuman. Hanuman helped Sri Rama in finding the whereabouts of Sita, who had been abducted by the demon king Ravana. He took a giant leap and jumped across the ocean. He went to Ashokwatika where Ravana had kept Sita. He gave Sri Rama's ring to her and consoled her by saying that very soon Sri Rama was going to arrive and release her from Ravana's captivity. He also burned the whole Lanka by his burning tail and returned to Sri Rama to give him Sita's news. While the battle was fought between Sri Rama and Ravana, Lakshmana got seriously injured and became unconscious. Hanuman saves his life by bringing the whole of mountain, upon which the herb Sanjeevani grew. Being present at the service of Sri Rama, Hanuman performed his duties marvelously. Worship of Hanuman helps a man to become free from all kinds of problems, diseases and hurdles, etc. Shiva's incarnation as Mahesh. Once, Bhairav, who was entrusted with the job of a doorkeeper, became so infatuated with Parvati's beauty that he tried to prevent her from going outside. Parvati became furious and cursed him to be born as a mortal man on the earth. Bhairav became very sad, but now the damage had been already done. Bhairav later on appeared in the form of a man named Vatal. Vatal prayed to Lord Shiva, who took his incarnation as Mahesh and goddess Parvati as Girija. Lord Vishnu creates turbulences after the churning of the ocean had been accomplished. Numerous things had emerged out from the ocean. Jewels, moon, Lakshmi, poison, Uchchashrava horse, Airavat elephant, vessel containing nectar were some of the things which emerged out from the ocean after the churning. A tremendous battle was fought between the deities and the demons to have control over the vessel containing nectar. The demons had snatched that vessel from the deities. By the divine inspiration of Lord Shiva, Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini, the enchanting beauty. He successfully recovered that vessel from the control of the demons. To distract the attention of the demons from the nectar, Lord Vishnu created numerous enchanting beauties. When the demons saw them, they forcibly carried these enchanting beauties to their abode, the nether world. After that they again returned to take control of the nectar. By that time, Vishnu had made the deities drink all the nectar. When the demons came to know about this, they became very furious and attacked the deities. A tremendous battle ensued between both the sides. Ultimately the demons got defeated. To save their lives, the demon ran towards their abode. Lord Vishnu chased the demons and entered the Netherland. He killed all the demons. Lord Vishnu then saw those enchanting beauties who had been abducted by the demons. Ironically, Lord Vishnu got infatuated by their beauty, who were his own creation. Lord Vishnu remained there for a long time. Shiva's incarnation as Vrishab. During his stay in the Netherland, many sons were born to Lord Vishnu, who were very wicked and cruel. These sons of Lord Vishnu started tormenting the inhabitants of all the three worlds. All the deities and the sages went to Lord Shiva to take his help. They requested him to kill the cruel sons of Vishnu and re-establish him, Lord Vishnu, in his own abode, which he had abandoned for the nether world. Lord Shiva went to the nether world in the form of an ox, Vrishab. He killed all the sons of Lord Vishnu with his sharp horns. Seeing the death of his sons, Lord Vishnu came forward to fight him. He attacked Lord Shiva with his various weapons, but Lord Shiva remained harmless. Ultimately Lord Vishnu was able to recognize him. He eulogized Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then requested him to return back to Vishnuluka. He accepted. Lord Vishnu left his Sudarshan Chakra in the netherworld and went to his own abode, where Lord Shiva presented him a new Sudarshan Chakra. Killing of Vritrasur. Once, when the deities were defeated by Vritrasur, they went to Lord Brahma after hiding their weapons in the hermitage of sage Dadichi. They requested Lord Brahma to reveal about the means, how Vritrasur could be killed. Lord Brahma advised the deities to make a weapon named Vajra from the bones of sages Dadichi, as Dadichi's bones were even harder than the Vajra of Indra by the blessings of Lord Shiva. All the deities then went to the hermitage of Dadichi in the leadership of Brihaspati. On being inquired about the purpose of their visit, Indra said that he wanted his bones so that a weapon could be made out of it. Dadichi gave up his life by his yogic power. Indra then instructed Kamdev to extract the bones from the dead body of Dadichi. The bones were given to Tavoshta to construct the weapon Vajra. Tavoshta took the weapons to Vishwakarma, who at last constructed the Vajra. Indra killed Vritrasur with this weapon. When Suvacha, the wife of Dadichi, came to know about the cunning deeds of the deities, she cursed them to become animals. Shiva's incarnation as Yatinath. There used to live a Bheel named Ahuk of the Arbudachal mountain. His wife was Ahuka. Both of them were supreme devotee of Lord Shiva. Once, Lord Shiva, wanting to test their devotion, appeared before them disguised a hermit. Ahuk honored his guest and treated him very well. Lord Shiva then requested him to give shelter for the whole night. Ahuk expressed his inability as he had a very small hut, in which only 2 people could be accommodated at a time. But his wife intervened and requested Ahuk to sleep outside the hut with his arms, as it would be inappropriate on their part to miss this chance of proving their hospitality. The hermit, who in reality was Lord Shiva, slept with Ahuk's wife inside the hut, while Ahuk himself slept outside the hut. Unfortunately, Ahuk was killed by a wild animal while he was asleep. In the morning, when Lord Shiva found that Ahuk had died, his heart was filled with grief. But Ahuka consoled him by saying that she was proud of her husband as he had given up his life for a noble cause. Naturally, she was very much saddened by her husband's death, so she decided to give up her life by jumping into the burning pyre. Right then Lord Shiva appeared in his real form and blessed her by saying, "In his next birth your husband would take birth in a royal family. He would become famous as Nala and you would be born as Damayanti to King Bhima of Vidarbha. I would myself appear in the form of a swan and help both of you to unite. After enjoying all the pleasures of this world, both of you would attain to my abode." After saying thus, Lord Shiva established himself as immovable Shiva Linga, which later on became famous as Achaleshwar Ling. Shiva's incarnation as Krishna Darshan, King Nabag was born in the 9th genealogy of Shradadeva, who himself was a descendant of Ikshvaku. Nabag was the grandfather of Ambrish. During his childhood, Nabag left his home for Gurukula to get education. In his absence, his brothers got the wealth of the kingdom distributed among themselves. When Nabag returned home after the completion of his education, he demanded his share of wealth from his brothers. His brothers told him that they had forgotten to fix his share as he was absent at the time when wealth was being distributed. They advised him to go and meet their father. Nabag went to his father and made the same request. His father advised him to go to sage Angiras, who was trying to accomplish a yagya, but was not being able to accomplish it because of his attachment. Go and try to eliminate his attachment by your discourses. This way sage Angiras, on being pleased with you, would give all the wealth which remains after the completion of the yagya, said his father. Nabag did the same. He went to the place where sage Angiras was performing his yagya. He preached sage Angiras on the virtues of religiousness. As a result, he became free from all sorts of attachments and the yagya was successfully accomplished. Sage Angiras was very pleased by Nabag's knowledge of religion. He gave all the remaining wealth of the yagya to Nabag. Just then Lord Shiva arrived there in his incarnation of Krishna Darshan and tried to prevent sage Angiras from donating the wealth to Nabag. Instead he staked his own claim. Nabag told Lord Shiva that, since the wealth was given to him by sage Angiras himself, it naturally belonged to him. Lord Shiva then sent Nabag to his father Shradhadev to know about his opinion. Nabag went to Shradhadeva, who revealed to him that the person who was staking his claims on the wealth was none other than Lord Shiva. He also told him that whatever remained after the accomplishment of the yagya belongs to Lord Shiva only. Nabag was now satisfied. He went back to Lord Shiva and narrated everything what his father had said. He then eulogized and worshipped Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva blessed him, which helped Nabag to attain salvation. Lord Shiva appears as a beggar. There was a king named Satyarath who ruled over Vidarbha. Once he was attacked by a neighboring king. Satyarath was killed in that battle. His wife somehow managed to save her life by hiding in a forest. The queen was pregnant at that time. At the shore of a pond she gave birth to a child. She was feeling thirsty, so she went into the pond to quench her thirst. Unfortunately, she was killed by a crocodile who used to live in that pond. The hungry child started crying. A beggar woman arrived there with her 1-year-old child. Though her heart was filled with compassion seeing the hungry child cry, but still she was hesitating to take him in her lap. Right then Lord Shiva appeared as a beggar and advised her to bring up the orphan child. The beggar woman asked about the origin of the child. Lord Shiva told her that the father of this child Satyarath in his previous life had left the Pradoshvrata incomplete. He had also ordered his men to sever the head of his enemy. After this, he had broken his fast in his impure state, without taking a bath. As a result, Satyarath met a premature death in his next life. The mother of this orphan child too committed a sin by deceitfully getting the co-wife of her husband killed. As a result, she was devoured by a crocodile in her next life. Describing about the child, Lord Shiva said, "This child was Brahman by birth in his previous life, but still he never engaged himself in any religious or virtuous deeds. So in his next life, though he was born in a royal family, still he remained poor. You must take this child under your control, and after his sacred thread ceremony gets accomplished, you must engage him in my, Shiva's, devotion. If you don't obey my command, then it would not be good for the welfare of your own child." After saying like this, Lord Shiva disappeared. The beggar woman took that child to her house and brought him up with great love and care. When he grew up, his sacred thread ceremony was performed, and then he was initiated into the worship of Lord Shiva. By the blessing of Lord Shiva, Satyaratha's son formed a pot full of gold while he was taking bath in a pond. Now the beggar family became very rich. Once again, when he had gone to a forest, he met a Gandharv princess to whom he ultimately got married. This way he became a king. He lived happily with his mother and his brother. Lord Shiva appears in the guise of Indra, Sureshwar. Upamanyu, the son of sage Vyagrapa, was brought up in his maternal uncle's home since his childhood. One day Upamanyu was very hungry. His mother gave him milk to drink, which was not enough to satisfy his hunger. He demanded more and started crying. His mother mined some wheat flour in the water and gave him to drink, as there was no milk left in the house. Upamanyu, finding the taste different, told his mother that it was not milk but something else. He again started crying. His mother told him that if he wanted milk, then he should worship Lord Shiva, as he only was capable of making the milk available. Upamanyu proceeded towards the Himalaya and started doing penance to please Lord Shiva, continuously chanting the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. His penance generated so much of heat that all the three worlds started burning. To test his devotion, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati appeared before him disguised as Indra and Indrani respectively. Both of them told Upamanyu to stop doing penance. They said, "We Indra and Indrani are extremely pleased by your devotion. Stop worshipping Shiva. We will fulfill all your desires." Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati did not stop at this. They even cursed Shiva. Upamanyu became very furious and got up to attack the abuser Indra. Shiva and Parvati were satisfied by his total dedication and devotion. They revealed their real identity and blessed him. Shiva promised Upamanyu that he would be present in the vicinity of his hermitage along with Parvati forever. Upamanyu returned back to his home and narrated the whole story to his mother, who was very pleased. Lord Shiva got the name Sureshwar because he appeared in the guise of Indra. Sage Vyasa advises the Pandavas to worship Shiva after losing their whole kingdom to Duryodhana in the gamble. Pandavas went to the Dwait forest accompanied by Draupadi. They started living in a place which was donated by Velotra's son. Duryodhana instigated Sage Durvasa to torment the Pandavas. Sage Durvasa went to the place where Pandavas were staying, accompanied by thousands of his disciples. He demanded food from the Pandavas. How could have the Pandavas satiated from the hunger of thousands of people? Lord Krishna came to their rescue and saved them from being disgraced. As a result, Vyasa and his disciples went back satisfied. Lord Krishna advised the Pandavas to worship Lord Shiva, but they neglected that advice. As a result, their sufferings increased in magnitude. One day sage Vyasa arrived there. The Pandavas gave a rousing reception. Considering Arjuna to be the most capable among the Pandavas, Vyasa taught him the method of doing Parthiva worship. Later on, Arjuna went to the Indrakil mountain to please Indra by his penance. Sage Vyasa preached Yudhishthira to remain firm on his virtuosity and religiousness. Arjuna's penance generated so much of heat that all the living creatures of the three worlds were unable to bear its scorching heat. All the living creatures of the three worlds went to Indra to seek his help. Indra went to Arjuna in the guise of a celibate and asked about the purpose for which he was doing penance. Arjuna told him that he wanted to defeat the Kauravas. Indra then told Arjuna that it was not in his capacity to help him achieve victory over the Kauravas, because of Aswatthama, who was a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. Indra advised Arjuna to please Lord Shiva by his penance so that his wishes could be fulfilled. Indra then entrusted some of his men the job of Arjuna's security and went back to his abode. Arjuna commenced his penance to please Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appears in guise of Tirtha and blesses Arjuna. Arjuna did a tremendous penance by standing only on one leg and concentrating his gaze upon the blazing sun. The deities became very impressed by Arjuna's penance. They went to Lord Shiva and requested him to bless Arjuna. Lord Shiva accepted their request. Duryodhana had sent a demon named Mukha to kill Arjuna. Mukha had disguised himself as a boar. Arjuna was engrossed in his meditation, when suddenly his concentration got disturbed by a loud noise. He opened his eyes and saw Mukha being chased by a band of Kirats. In fact, it was none other than Shiva who had appeared in the guise of Kirat. Both Arjuna and Lord Shiva struck the boar with their respective arrows at the same time. As a result, the boar was killed. Lord Shiva sent his gunners to bring back the arrow. Similarly, Arjuna too went near the dead boar to bring his arrow. Arjuna found his arrow lying on the ground. He picked it up in his hand. Right then the gunners arrived there and asked Arjuna to return that arrow as it belonged to their master, Shiva. But Arjuna refused to part with his arrow. Instead, he asked the gunners to convey his challenge to their master to have a duel with him. The gunners went back to Lord Shiva and narrated the whole story to him. Lord Shiva accepted Arjuna's challenge and went to fight him. His gunners accompanied him. Arjuna defeated all the gunners of Shiva. In the end, Lord Shiva came forward to have a duel fight with him. Shiva was very much impressed by his valor. He revealed his real identity. Arjuna was very ashamed that he fought with Shiva. Lord Shiva consoled him and gave his weapon Pashupat to Arjuna. The 12 Jyotirlingas. Describing about the 12 Jyotirlingas, Sutta told the sages, there are 12 Jyotirlingas which are as follows: 1. Somnath in Saurashtra, 2. Mallikarjun in Sri Shail, 3. Mahakal in Ujjain, 4. Amreshwar in Omkar, 5. Kedar in the Himalaya, 6. Bhimashankar at the bank of Bhima river, 7. Vishwanath in Varanasi, 8. Triambakeshwar at the bank of Gautami river, 9. Baidyanath at Chittagumai, 10. Nagesh which is between Darukwan Dwarika and Bhed Dwarika, 11. Rameshwar at Betuband, and 12. Dushmesh in Shivlaya. These above-mentioned 12 Jyotirlingas are considered to the very sacred. A devotee who pays a visit to any of these places and worship, gets all of his wish fulfilled. Out of these 12 Jyotirlingas, Somnath Jyotirling is believed to destroy the sorrows of moon. A devotee who worships this Jyotirling gets cured from incurable diseases like leprosy etc., enjoys all kinds of worldly pleasures and attains salvation. Similarly, having a darshan of Mallikarjun helps a devotee to fulfill all of his desires. Having a darshan of Mahakal at Ujjain helps a devotee to fulfill all kinds of desire and achieve salvation. Similarly, if a devotee merely touches the idol of Omkar Ling, then he achieves the desired fruits. Kedarlinga is situated in the Himalayas and is considered to be very sacred. Lord Shiva took his sixth incarnation as Bhima Shankar to kill the demon Bhima. This incarnation of Shiva took place at a place called Kamarupa in Assam. The seventh incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Vishwanath at Kashi. This Jyotirling is considered to be very sacred and fulfiller of all the desires of a man. Lord Shiva took his eighth incarnation at the bank of river Gautami at the request of sage Gautam. This Jyotirling too is considered to be very sacred and a fulfiller of all the desires of a man. The ninth incarnation of Shiva was as Baidyanath at Deoghar in Bihar. This Jyotirling was established by the demon king Ravana. A devotee who worships this Jyotirling gets all of his wishes fulfilled. Because of this, it is also known as Kamanalinga. Devotees carry the holy water of the Ganges from Sultanganj and both the idol of Baidyanath in the months of Shravana and Bhadrapaksh according to the Hindu calendar. Lord Shiva took his 10th incarnation to kill the demon Daruk who used to live in Daruk forest. A devotee who worships Nagesh never faces any calamity. The 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Rameshwar Ling. This ling was established by Sri Rama while the construction of a bridge over the sea was going on. Having a darshan of this Jyotirling bestows both worldly pleasures and salvation. Lord Shiva took his 12th incarnation as Dhumeshwar after being pleased by Dhushma, the wife of Sumedha. Having a darshan of this Jyotirling helps a devotee to fulfill all of his desires. All the above-mentioned 12 Jyotirlingas are very sacred and give total accomplishment to the devotees. Part 4 Koti Rudra Sanhita The greatness of Upalingas. After describing about the 12 Jyotirling, Sutta mentioned about the various Upalingas originating from them. The Upalinga named Someshwar is situated at a place where the earth meets the ocean. This Upalinga is also known as Antrakesh. The Upalinga originating from Mallikarjun is famous by the name of Rudreshwar. Similarly, the Upalinga originating from Mahakal Jyotirling is known as Dugdesh. The Upalinga manifesting from Omkar Jyotirling is famous as Kadameshwar. The Upalinga manifesting from Kedareshwar Jyotirling is known as Guteshwar and is situated at the bank of Yamuna river. The Upalinga manifesting from Bhima Shankar Jyotirling is famously known as Bhimeshwar. The Upalingas manifesting from Nageshwar, Rameshwar and Dushmeshwar Jyotirlingas are known as Guteshwar, Gupteshwar and Vyagreshwar respectively. All these Upalingas are considered to be very sacred. A devotee who has darshan of these Upalingas gets liberated from all of his sins. Apart from these 12 Jyotirlingas and Upalingas, there are numerous other lingas, which have great religious importance. They are Kritikwaseshwar, Tilmandeshwar, Gutheshwar, Bachukeshwar, Pureshwar, Siddhaneshwar, Shringeshwar, Gopeshwar, Rangeshwar, Rameshwar, Aitrishwar, Mahabaling Kameshwar, Ganeshwar, Shukreshwar, Chandrasekhar, Rishishwar, Laliteshwar, Pashuktishwar, Pashupatinath, Kantinath and Andhakeshwar etc. Atri and Anusuya do penance. Sage Atri and his wife Anusuya were doing penance in the forest called Kamad, situated near the Chitrakoot mountain. Once it did not rain for many days. As a result, people living in that area faced a severe drought. Anusuya requested her husband to help out the people from their hardships. Sage Atri sat down to meditate. One by one, his disciples deserted him. Only Anusuya remained with him. She spent her days worshipping the Parthiva lingas and circumambulating Sage Atri, who was engrossed in his meditation. She had vowed not to have a single morsel of food till it rained. All the deities became very pleased with their penance. They arrived at the place where both of them were doing penance and after giving blessings went back to their respective abodes. Lord Shiva and river Ganges stayed there. It did not rain for 54 years. Both Sage Atri and Anusuya continued with their respective penance. While doing penance, Sage Atri felt thirsty. He requested Anusuya to fetch some water. Anusuya went with a kamandal in search of water but did not find it anywhere. Ganga appeared before her and said, "I am very pleased with you. You can demand anything from me you like." Anusuya demanded only a kamandal full of water for her husband. Ganga instructed her to dig up a pit, and when it was done she entered into that pit. Anusuya filled her kamandal with the water from that pit and went back to her thirsty husband. After quenching his thirst, Atri inquired from Anusuya as to where did she find water. Anusuya narrated the whole story. Both of them then went back to the place where Anusuya had met Ganga. Both of them requested Ganga to stay at that very place. Ganga agreed to remain there on the condition that Anusuya donates all the virtues attained by her husband by worshipping Lord Shiva for 1 year. Anusuya donated all the virtues, without any hesitation. Lord Shiva became very much pleased by their charitable tendencies. He appeared before them. After eulogizing, Atri requested Lord Shiva to remain in his hermitage accompanied by Parvati. Lord Shiva agreed to do so. Ganga also stayed with them. Later on, Atri performed a grand yagya, after the completion of which it rained heavily. Thus Atri ended the phase of drought by his tremendous penance. River Mandakini flows from that same pit, which Anusuya had dug up. The Shiva Linga, which was worshipped by Anusuya during that time later on, came to be known as a Trishwar Ling. The Brahman woman attains to heaven. Once upon a time, there lived a Brahman at a place called Karni, situated at the bank of river Reva. When the Brahman became old, he went to Kashi after leaving behind his wife to live with his sons. After some time the Brahman died. When the Brahman's sons came to know about his death, they went to Kashi and performed his last rites. After some days the Brahman's woman died too. The Brahman's son, Suvas, again went to Kashi carrying the ashes of their dead mother as per her own wish. On his way, Suvad became a guest of another Brahman. Suvad witnessed an amazing event in the night, in which he saw his host trying to milk the cow. At first he allowed the calf to drink the cow's milk for some time. His host then moved away the calf from the cow. The calf was still hungry and was not willing to move away from the cow. The Brahmans trashed the calf very badly. This made the cow very sad and vowed to teach that wicked Brahman a lesson. The calf tried his best to convince his mother against doing this, as her action might make her commit the gravest of sins, the Brahmahatya. But the cow was not worried, as she knew the method of nullifying that sin. Suvad was surprised that the cow knew the method of nullifying the sin of Brahmahatya. Next morning, the Brahman entrusted the job of milking the cow. The Brahman's son gave a severe thrashing to the calf who was unwilling to move away from his mother. The angry cow lifted the Brahman's son with her horns and dashed him against the ground. The Brahman's son died on the spot. When the Brahman returned to his home, he became very furious on seeing his son dead. He drove both the cow and the calf out of his house, after beating them very badly. The color of the cow had turned blue due to the thrashing she got from her Brahman. The cow went to the temple of Nandikeshwar, situated at the bank of river Narmada. To neutralize the sin of Brahmahatya, she took dip in the water of river Narmada for 3 times. As a result, she regained her original color. Suvadh had followed the cow all along the way. He was amazed to see the cow regaining her original color. He proceeded on his further journey towards Kashi. He met a beautiful lady on the way who inquired as to where was he going. Suvadh told her that he was going to immerse the ashes of her mother in the holy water of the river Ganges. The lady advised him to immerse the ashes in the water of Narmada itself, as the holy Ganga herself comes to meet Narmada on the 7th day of Vaishak every year. Today is the same auspicious day when the holy Ganga will be coming to meet Narmada, said the beautiful woman. She also told him that immersing the ashes in the waters of Narmada would help his mother to attain to the divine abode. This beautiful lady was none other than Ganga herself. After advising Suvadh, she disappeared. Suvadh followed the instruction of that beautiful lady. He immersed the ashes in the waters of Narmada. He saw his mother attaining a divine body. His mother blessed Suvadh and then attained to the abode of Lord Shiva. Mahabal Shivalinga. Describing about Mahabal Shivalinga, Sutha said to the sages, Mahabal Shivalinga is situated at Gokarna area. A devotee who has a darshan of Mahabal Shivalinga on the 8th or 14th day of Ardra Nakshatra falling on Monday, becomes free from all of his sins and attains to the Shivaloka. Having a darshan of this Shivalinga on any other day too helps a man to attain to the abode of Almighty. All the deities, ancestors, holy rivers like Ganga and the Nagas stand guard on all the 4 entrances of Mahabal temple. Even the most degraded sinner attains salvation if he worships Mahabal Shivalinga on the 14th day of Magha, dark lunar phase. On this day people come from all over India to see the grand festival. The reason behind phallic worship. The sages curiously asked Sutha about the purpose with which Parvati had decided to appear in the form of a vagina. Sutha narrated the following tale. Long ago, some sages used to do penance in a Shiva temple situated near Daruk forest. One day they went to collect woods needed for the yajna. Lord Shiva wanted to test their devotion, so he arrived before the sages' wives in naked position holding his own phallus in his hand. The wives of the sages became frightened by Shiva's appearance. When the sages returned after collecting woods, they became very furious to see a naked person luring their wives. They asked Shiva to reveal his identity. When Shiva did not give any reply, they cursed him to become a phallus. The phallus fell down from the hand of Lord Shiva and generated so much of heat that all the 3 worlds started to burn. The sages became very nervous and went to seek the help of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma revealed to them that the person who they cursed was none other than Lord Shiva himself. He also instructed them to please Goddess Parvati, as she only could have them from Shiva's wrath by appearing in the form of vagina and holding the phallus. The sages followed the instruction of Lord Brahma. Goddess Parvati appeared in the form of vagina and held Shiva's phallus in herself. The sages then worshipped the Shivalinga. This Jyotirling became famous by the name of Hakeshwar. The origin of Batuknath. Long ago there lived a Brahman by the name of Dadhichi. His wife to a low caste, though his son, Sudarshan, was very learned. The name of his wife was Tukula. She had her husband under total control and influence. Sudarshan had 4 sons. One day Dadhichi planned to go out due to some work. He entrusted the job of Shiva's worship to Sudarshan. Sudarshan worshipped the idol of Shiva daily without any fail. On the Shivratri day, Sudarshan too had observed a fast like rest of his family members. He worshipped Shiva's idol in the morning as usual and then went to his home. During the night time, he had a sexual relationship with his wife. After that, he sat down to worship without purifying himself. Lord Shiva became very furious by his action. He immobilized him by his curse. Dadhichi was very sad to see the condition of his son. He commenced a tremendous penance to please goddess Parvati. After being pleased by his penance, Parvati requested Lord Shiva to liberate Sudarshan from his curse. Lord Shiva became pleased and blessed Sudarshan by saying that he would become famous as Batuknath and also that the worship of Batuknath would amount to the worship of Lord Shiva. The origin of Somnath. The moon had 27 wives, one of whom was Rohini. The moon loved Rohini very much, which made the rest of his wives very jealous and angry. They went to their father, Daksha, and complained about moon's behavior. Daksha went to moon and advised him to give proper attention to all of his wives. But it did not have any effect on him and he continued giving special treatment to Rohini. When Daksha came to know about this, he became very curious. He cursed moon to become weak and devoid of radiance. The moon then sent the deities to Lord Brahma to seek his help. At first, Lord Brahma became very angry with moon, but later on he cooled down and told the deities that moon can get liberated from the curse if he chants Mahamrityunjaya mantra by going to Prabhu's area. Moon went to Prabha's area and chanted Mahamrityunjaya mantra for 10 crore times after sitting in one posture. Lord Shiva appeared before him and asked him to demand anything he wished. Moon requested Lord Shiva to liberate him from the curse given by Daksha. Lord Shiva told Moon that the words of Daksha can never become untrue. However, he blessed Moon by saying that he would wane during the dark lunar phase due to the curse, but wax during the dark lunar phase due to his, Shiva's, blessings. Lord Shiva also provided Moon that he would be present along with Parvati near him, Moon. Thus Lord Shiva established himself as Somnath. The deities constructed a kunda, named Chandrakunda. It is believed that the moon was liberated from the curse by taking a bath in this kunda. The origin of Mallikarjun. Once, under the influence of sage Narada, Kartikeya had gone to the Kronch mountain to do penance. Shiva and Parvati could not bear the pain of his separation for long. Both of them went to the Kronch mountain to see him. When Kartikeya saw them coming, he moved to some other place. When Lord Shiva saw this, he established himself in the form of Jyotirling, which later on became famous as Mallikarjun Jyotirling. The origin of Mahakaleshwar. There used to live a Brahman at Avantikpuri. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva and used to worship daily. This Brahman had 4 sons whose names were Devapriya, Medhapriya, Sukrit and Dharmabahu. By the blessings of Lord Shiva, the Brahman enjoyed a very happy and contented life. After his death, the Brahman's son continued the tradition of Shiva's worship. There was a mountain named Ratanak on which a demon named Dushan used to live. Being intoxicated by the boons received from Lord Brahma, he used to torment all the people. He had all the surrounding area under his control except the house in which the Brahman family lived. Dushan ordered his fellow demons to bring the Brahman after capturing them. All the demons went to Avantikpuri and created havoc. They went to the Brahmans and told them about Dushan's order. The Brahmans were busy doing worship at that time, so they did not give ear to their words. The Brahmans continued with their worship. The demon became very angry and tried to attack them. Suddenly the earth cracked with a tremendous sound and Lord Shiva manifested from within the cracks. He killed all the demons. He then went to the Ratnamala mountain and killed Dushan. He again returned to the Brahmans and expressed his desire of fulfilling their wishes. The Brahmans expressed their desire of getting liberated from the bondages of this world. They also requested him to remain at that place. Lord Shiva accepted their request and established himself in the form of Mahakal. The origin of Omkareshwar. Once, Narada had gone to meet Vindhya mountain. Vindhya was very arrogant in his behavior. Narada told him that Sumeru mountain was even greater than him, and so his false pride had no basis. Vindhya became very dejected and disheartened. He went to Omkareshwar and started worshipping Shiva after making a Parthiv ling. Lord Shiva became very pleased by his penance. He appeared before Vindhya and blessed him. After some time the sages too arrived there and worshipped Shiva. They requested Lord Shiva to remain at that place forever. Lord Shiva established himself as Parameshwar Ling. One Shiva Linga already existed at Amreshwar, which became famous as Omkareshwar. The origin of Kedareshwar. Two incarnations of Lord Vishnu by the names of Nara and Vishnu did penance at Badrikasharama. Both of them used to worship the idol of Shiva daily. Lord Shiva used to arrive in his subtle form and accept their offerings without being noticed by them. One day Lord Shiva appeared before them. Nara and Narayana eulogized him and requested to remain at that place forever. Lord Shiva accepted their request and established himself as Kedareshwar Jyotirling. The origin of Bhima. Shankar Bhima, the demon, was the son of Kumbhakarna and Kaketi. After Kumbhakarna was killed by Sri Rama, Kaketi and Bhima went to live at Sahya mountain. When Bhima grew up, he asked Kaketi about his father. Kaketi told him that his father had been killed by Rama. Bhima swore to avenge his father's death. He did a tremendous penance to please Lord Brahma. Brahma appeared before him and blessed him with insurmountable power and strength. Bhima then drove out the deities from heaven. He went to Kamarupa and defeated the king. He captured the king and put him in prison. The helpless king used to pass his time by chanting the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. His wife worshipped the Parthiva ling of Shiva for the release of the king. All the deities went at the bank of river Mahakeshi and worshipped the Parthiva ling of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appeared before them and assured them that the end of Bhima was near. Lord Shiva went to the king who had been held captive by Bhima. His gunners too accompanied him. All of them waited for the opportune time to kill Bhima. Meanwhile, somebody informed Bhima that the king was doing worship of Shiva in the prison, with the objective of getting Bhima killed. Bhima arrived at the spot in the prison where the king was worshipping the Parthiva ling of Lord Shiva. He made fun of Shiva and struck the Shiva linga with his sword. Right then, Lord Shiva appeared. A tremendous battle was fought between both of them. The battle continued for a long period. Sage Narada requested Lord Shiva to kill Bhima as soon as it was possible. Lord Shiva produced fire by his loud roar. In a very short time the fire spread in the whole forest. All the demons including Bhima were burned to death. The deities and the sages arrived there. They requested Lord Shiva to remain there. Lord Shiva accepted their request and established himself in the form of Bhima Shankar Jyotirling. The origin of Vishweshwar, with the desire of giving liberation to the living creatures of this world, Lord Shiva had kept some portion of land on his Trishul after separating it from the rest of Brahma's creation. The name of this sacred place is Manikarnika. The Shivalinga by the name of Avinukta was established by Lord Shiva himself. Later on, this sacred place was brought down from the Trishul and established on the land of Shiva. This sacred place of pilgrimage later on became famous as Kashi and the Shivalinga as Avimukta Visheshwar. The origin of Triambakeshwar. During the ancient time there lived a famous sage named Gautami. The name of his wife was Ahilya. Once it did not rain for 100 years, as the result of which the whole area was affected by drought. Sage Gautami did a tremendous penance to please Varuna, appeared before Gautam. He was requested to cause rain. But Varuna expressed his inability in causing rain. He told Gautam to please Lord Shiva so that his wish could be fulfilled. Later on, Varuna instructed Gautam to dig up a pit, which he, Varuna, filled with water. Varuna blessed Gautam by saying that this pond would never dry up. The sages who had abandoned that place returned there. Everybody became happy and satisfied. One day, Sage Gautam instructed his disciples to fetch some water from that pond. When the disciples reached there, they found the wives of numerous sages present at the bank of the pond. The sages' wives did not allow them to take water, and instead they rebuked them. The disciples returned back to the hermitage and narrated the whole story to Sage Gautam. Ahilya pacified the angry disciples and went to the pond to fetch water. From that day onwards this became very daily routine. One day Ahilya met the wives of the sages. They tried to prevent her from fetching water. Not only that, they went back to his respective hermitages and filled the ears of their husbands. All the sages became very angry. The sages worshipped Lord Ganesha to please him. When Ganesha appeared, they requested him to drive Gautam out from that place. At first Ganesha was reluctant to accept their demand, but when they kept persisting, he agreed at last. Ganesha entered the field of Gautam in which barley was being cultivated. Ganesha had disguised himself as a cow. He started grazing the barley crops. When Gautam saw the cow grazing crops, he tried to drive her out from the field by hitting a grass on her back. The artificial cow died instantly. Gautam was very sorry for his act. Meanwhile, all the sages from the surrounding area arrived there. They forced Gautam to abandon that place at once. Gautam left that place and made his hermitage at a little distance from there. One day he came to the sages and asked them as to how could he atone for his sins. The sages told him that his sins could be atoned only when he circumambulates the whole earth thrice, all the while saying, "I have killed a cow." They also told him that after that he would have to perform austerities for 1 month. If this is not possible, then you will have to help Ganga manifest herself and take bath in her water. Otherwise you will have to worship 3 crores Parthiva lingas. Only then, you can get liberated from the sin of killing a cow, said the sages. Gautam made the Parthiva lingas and started worshipping them. Lord Shiva became very pleased by his devotion and appeared before him. Sage Gautam requested Lord Shiva to liberate him from the sins of killing a cow. He also requested Lord Shiva to manifest the stream of river Ganga that place. Lord Shiva tried his best to make him understand that he was innocent and the real culprits were those wicked sages. But Gautam was unconvinced. At last Lord Shiva instructed Ganga to appear in the form of a woman. Gautam eulogized Ganga. By the blessings of Lord Shiva, Gautam was liberated from his sins of killing a cow. After that, Ganga expressed her desire to go back, but Lord Shiva asked her to remain on the earth till the 28th Manvanta. Ganga accepted to do that, on the condition that Lord Shiva along with Parvati too would remain present on the earth. Lord Shiva established himself as Trayambakeshwar Jyotirling, and Ganga became famous as Gautami Ganga. The origin of Baidyanath. The demon king Ravana did a tremendous penance to please Lord Shiva and to get a boon from him. Even after his severe penance, when Lord Shiva did still not appear, he started offering his heads one by one to Lord Shiva. This way he already severed his 9 heads and offered them to Shiva. When he was about to sever his last remaining head, just the Lord Shiva appeared before him. He blessed Ravana with unparalleled power and strength. Lord Shiva also made him a 10-headed demon once again. But Ravana was not satisfied. He requested Lord Shiva to come along with him to Lanka. Lord Shiva gave Ravana as Shivalinga and warned him against keeping it on the earth, as then no power on the earth could lift that Shivalinga from there. Ravana proceeded with the Shivalinga. On the way he felt the urge to urinate. Ravana gave that Shivalinga to a cowherd boy and went to urinate. The cowherd boy held the Shivalinga for some time. He felt that the Shivalinga was becoming heavier and heavier. He could not bear the weight of the Shivalinga for too long. He kept it on the ground. When Ravana returned, he became very sad after seeing the Shivalinga on the ground. He knew that now it was impossible to lift it from that place. Ravana established the Shivalinga there, which became famous as Baidyanath Jyotirling. The origin of Nageshwar Jyotirling. During ancient times, there lived a demon named Daruk. The name of his wife was Daruka. They used to torment the people living in that area. The residents of that area went to sage Ash and narrated about their miseries and requested him to end this menace. Ash assured them that very soon their hardships would come to an end. He then went to do his penance. The deities appeared before him after being pleased by his tremendous penance. Sage Ash requested the deities to kill the demons. The deities went to fight with the demons. The demons got scared and started thinking about the means by which their lives could be saved. Daruka, the wife of Daruk, had received a boon from goddess Parvati, due to which she had gained unparalleled power. She carried the whole forest and placed it in the middle of the sea. This way the demons again lived without being perturbed by the threat of the deities' attack. One day the demons saw many boats sailing in the sea, on which were many people on board. The demons made all the people captive. There was a man named Supriya who was great devotee of Lord Shiva. He used to worship Lord Shiva daily, even though he saw held under captivity. Rest of the people too got influenced by his devotion, and everybody started worshipping Lord Shiva. This way, 6 months had passed. One day a demon saw Supriya worshipping the idol of Lord Shiva. He went to Daruk and informed him. Daruk became extremely furious. He asked Supriya as to whom was he worshipping. Supriya, still engrossed in his worship, did not give any reply. This made Daruk even more angry. He tried to kill Supriya. Lord Shiva appeared and killed all the demons. Daruka's heart became full of grief at the news of her husband's death. She went to Parvati and told her how Lord Shiva had killed Daruka. Parvati met Lord Shiva and both of them decided to protect their respective devotees by establishing themselves at that place. Thus, Nageshwar Jyotirling came into existence. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.